Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we do not have a Roblox Studio video, I know, tears, but today we are going to have a showcase for this program I made called MC Conservationalist. The name is very long and long-winded, I know, sorry. Also ignore the animated background, I just have it running. So, what is this? Well, if you ever try to host your own Minecraft server on your own machine, it could be like your own PC or like a server PC you have, then you're not supposed to close the server. You're supposed to run it 24/7 because that's what servers do. You never really see Hypixel like turning on and off unless it's for updates. So servers are meant to be 24/7 and obviously they can drag a lot of power. And also that means high electricity bills, which I'm sure you do not want. So I made this program and mostly for myself, honestly, because I'm self-hosting a server right now, but that isn't important. So this program is meant to shut down the server when there's nobody playing on it for a certain amount of time, and it allows you to turn it back on again just like it's simply trying to join that server. Now, this didn't come from no inspiration. The original program that did this was this this program right here, the MC Sleeping Server Starter. And what it did was, well, it did the thing I just said my program would do, which is it would start the server. The only problem I have with this is that it's not bundled together with the sleeping mechanism. This thing only starts the server. It doesn't sleep it. It actually recommends you to, if I scroll down here, it says works better with empty server stopper, which is a Minecraft plugin that you have to, well, use to stop the server. So these two work together to make the sleeping and starting thing happen and work in unison. But the fact that I have to download two different things is just it makes me want to blow my head up. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna put matters into my own hands and make my own thing. So this thing is basically just these two programs bundled together, and you don't have to download a Minecraft plugin. So the oh, okay, wow, this is really hard to say. I need to change that name. So here you can see the README for it, all the features, how to download it. So this is a GitHub repository. If you haven't seen a GitHub repository before, don't be intimidated by all of these buttons or code. All you have to focus on is the releases at the side over here and the README, which will basically tell you things about the program itself. So in order to download the program, just go over here, the releases, and find the latest version, because this is the most stable version I can promise you. Well, I know my code has a 100% fail rate, so bear with me here. We have a bunch of builds. Now, we have Darwin and Linux and Windows, and for those operating systems, we have AMD and ARM. Now, if you are confused as to what those are, and you are confused as to which one to download, I will quickly explain it to you right now. If you are on Mac OS, and that's stuff like from Apple, from like MacBooks and stuff like that, that's Darwin. Linux, if you are a Linux user, you probably already know what this is, because you're probably already a programmer or something like that. But if you don't know what Linux are, then don't worry about Linux. Windows, if you're a Windows user, basically the big W, Mr. Microsoft. Yeah, if you see this icon on your computer, then well, you're a Windows user. Between your operating system, should you pick AMD or should you put ARM? Well, the AMD is for Intel chips. If your CPU can be categorized as a Intel CPU, then you download the AMD. If your chip can be categorized under Apple Silicon, you download ARM. Now, how do you find out what chip it is? Basically, just do a quick Google search and you can quickly see how you can find out whether you are Apple Silicon or you are Intel. Before we even start with this, I guess I'm gonna quickly show you how to set up a server file or folder rather. Now, this is the official Minecraft page, and I'll include these links in the description. This is the Minecraft Java Edition server setup. So this, if you're a Bedrock player, I'm sorry, the process might be different for you. I'm gonna be covering Java only for this. Now, after you click this link, it should just make you download something called the server.jar file, which is this thing right here. It has a coffee on it. Well, for Mac OS, there's gonna be a coffee icon. I don't know about Windows or something like that, but as long as you get a server jar file, you're fine. So what to do with this server jar file? Well, you're gonna create a new folder called server, like I've done so right here. Obviously, I already did that, so I have this server folder, and you put server.jar in it. Now on Mac OS, all I have to do is double click on it, and it will generate these files: version, server properties, logs, libraries, ELUA. On Windows, it's a little bit more complicated. You have to write I'm pretty sure you have to write like a .bat script for it. You can go search up how to do that. But I think Windows, you might be able to also double click and it will generate all these files. I'm not sure, but basically just go and search it up how to do that, because this video is not really about how to set up a server. So you have this ELUA. Oh, well, my pronunciation is really bad. The EULA. Now, if you have any experience with self-hosting, you know that you have to set this to true to comply with the Mojang contract. Sell your soul to Mojang right now. So just set that to true and your server is fine now. Right. So this folder basically constitutes what your server, your Minecraft server is going to be running against. Everything is going to work right in this folder. So I'm just going to put the MC Conservationalist, I need to change that name for real, into the server file. Now, because I actually know what I'm doing, I have the Darwin ARM, because that's what my operating system and architecture is. So yeah, I renamed the file, by the way. That's why you can't see it. But so what do you do with it? You just double click. If you double click on it, it should work. Now here, you can already see there's some red lines, which is, if you do programming, you know that's not good. But don't worry, this is just a personal message from me to you to tell you to enable your rcon. What does that mean? Well, don't worry about that, because before you can even use this, you need to configure your Minecraft server. So here it says, rcon is not enabled in server.properties. Please enable rcon to use MC Conservationalist. Enable rcon. So in the server.properties file that was generated, you should just find a enable rcon. There it is. And you just simply set that to true. Don't worry about my text editor. This is Visual Studio Code. Let's run it again. See what happens. And now it should be good to go. Started. Please only close this program to Control-C to safely close ports. The server is sleeping and waiting for place to trigger server. Now, here's the important thing you have to note is always use Control-C to close the program. Never just press the X button to close it, because that could cause some issues. It's not PC breaking, but it's still like it's kind of annoying to have to explain the issues that it causes. Just simply Control-C. It's the safe way to close it, and then you can close it. Now, since it was able to go through, it generated a configuration file. Now, what is this configuration file? Well, it's where you can change the different things, different details about how the program is going to work. So here you have the mod D. So what this is when the server is sleeping, on the Minecraft client, what message are you going to see under the server's name? So to quickly show you this, I'm actually going to boot up Minecraft right now. So hold on. All right, so I have booted up Minecraft 1.21.10 because that's the server version that I downloaded. You need to match the client with the server version. I'm sure you know this. If you play Minecraft, you should know about versions. So going to multiplayer. So double click this and you will say that it's sleeping and it's waiting for players to trigger the server. Now, the port forwarding stuff and how to get your friends to connect via multiplayer, that's like a whole nother caveat, a whole nother can of worms that you have to go learn from another YouTube video, because this is not what this video is about. For now, since this is the server is open on this machine and I'm running the client from the same machine, how I can access my own server is by saying localhost. And this is going to be the server. Ignore the typo. And you see, it should show up. The local host only works if it's the client is running on the server's machine. So if your server is running on your PC, and you can only join through local host on the same PC. So here you can see server is sleeping, join to wake. So that's what it says right here. Server is sleeping, join to wake. It's the same message. So this will determine what it shows when the server is sleeping under here. Now, the next configuration is the idle timeout seconds. Basically, this is just how many seconds after there is no players will the server just shut down. Use whitelist JSON basically refers to the JSON file that's supposed to be here. But basically what whitelist is basically you only allow certain players to join your Minecraft server. It's there to protect your server from like hackers or griefers that scan the internet and then they find your server, join it, grief it, do a bunch of stuff with it. So a whitelist prevents that from happening. Now, how do you whitelist your server? You have to make a whitelist.json file, which should have been generated. I don't know why the server.jar didn't generate it. I guess it's not included. I guess you have to do it yourself later. But we can just skip over this for now. But basically, when you whitelist people in game, you do /whitelist certain player, and then it will generate a whitelist.json file containing the details about the person that you allowed to let in. So what use.whitelist.json is, you're telling the program, you're telling MCServerConservationalist to use that whitelist.json file that is generated by Minecraft itself. Now, if you set this to false, you can use a separate whitelist. And basically, you don't want everybody that tries to click play to trigger the server, right? It doesn't make sense. If a stranger triggers the server, but he's a stranger, so it wouldn't make sense for him to be able to wake the server up if you don't know who they are. So you can use the whitelist to say that only your friends are able to trigger your server. That's basically what it is. The sleeping icon is the name of the icon that you want displayed when the server is sleeping. Right now, I didn't put any icon, which is why it's empty right now. But I'm just gonna quickly get a picture. All right, I figured the best picture for the sleeping icon would be the monk itself. So as you can see, you name it sleeping.png. Basically, it just has to match the name of the picture that you're actually going to be showing. In this case, sleeping.png is the default. And I put the picture of a monk here and I put it in the server folder. And we actually have to restart the server. So let's do Control C for the program and restart the program. Let's just double click on it again. And it should register the new picture that you put in. So if we do refresh, there we go. That's the picture you put in for when it's sleeping, it will show that picture. Now the server version is just a string that you show that you can put literally anything on here. It doesn't have to be a version. I just put unspecified version. That's the default. Basically, when you hover over something like this, you get the unspecified version right here. And the server jar file, I suggest you leave this alone. But basically, this just has to match the server jar file name of, well, your server jar file. So if this was named differently, you have to write this to match that. So that's all of the configuration for the program. Let's close that, and we can start on the nitty gritty of it. Now, if I press, if I try and go into it, you can see I am not whitelisted, which is why I can't trigger the waking up sequence. So what I have to do is I have to make a whitelist.json file, or I can edit the configuration file whitelist. Now, I wouldn't suggest using this whitelist. Instead, I would suggest using the whitelist file for the Mojang one, considering the fact that the actual server, Minecraft server, is going to be using that whitelist anyways. So it doesn't make sense for you to have two different like whitelists. So let's just quickly make a whitelist.json file. All right, so I have this server file open in Visual Studio. And basically, I'm just gonna quickly write a new whitelist.json. Now, it's gonna take in an array of different Minecraft usernames. And I'm gonna paste my username into this whitelist so that I am allowed into the server, and also I am allowed to wake up the server. So boom, there we go. This is the format of the username. It's going to be your Minecraft account name, and then it's going to be your UUID. Now this is public information, so it doesn't really matter. You can literally go search, go on a website called UUID Finder or something like that. Type in the name. You can even type in like Notch's name, Hero Brian's name or whatever, and then it will show you the UUID for that account. Now this UUID is generated by Minecraft, so this is something you don't have to worry about. But basically, I found out my own UUID and my own Minecraft account name. So I put it in a whitelist like so. Now, if you wanted to add another, well, username, as you can see, you would just put a comma and then add the username. Now this is the AI suggestion. Okay, screw AI. That's all fake usernames, but basically now I'm whitelisted. So let me just close the program, and I should be whitelisted. So if I try and enter it, there we go. I am waking up the server. So let's just give it a minute or two as it's starting the Minecraft. And it's awake. There we go. Now I do have to point out something unfortunate with the current release is that I didn't add a warning for the fact that you have to include a rcon password. Otherwise it won't work. My bad for that. So let's just quickly Control C again, which is the safe way to close it. And we have to add a rcon password into the server.properties file. Now, rcon is basically, I don't know how to explain it, but basically it's a way for people to remotely send commands to your server to like stop it or to get the amount of players in it. And obviously that could be dangerous on certain levels because you're just allowing people to do that. So if they ever had access to the rcon to your server, it's going to be really bad. That's why you need to have a password. Now, it's fine. We just put whatever in here to enable the rcon. So I'll just, yeah, do that. put a bunch of numbers in it, and the MC Conservationalist will actually automatically pick this up, so it's fine. Once again, now that I wrote that, it's gonna go back to sleep. So let me just start up the program again. And as you can see, it's sleeping again. So let me start it. And there we go. It's ready. So now if I join, I should enter a wonderful world of Minecraft. All right, here we go. So I believe the default idle timeout seconds is 30 seconds, and then the server closes. Let's test it out. So if I disconnect, and there we go. As you can see, the server picked up that there's nobody in the server, and it went back to sleep. So if I refresh, there we go. It went back to sleep. Perfect. And now it's saving power, because, you know, if your server is running, obviously it takes more power to keep the server running, but now it's sleeping and it won't take as much power. So yeah, that's basically how the program works. And now if I try and wake it up again, and as you can see, it will continue this loop of waking up and sleeping, waking up, sleeping, based on whether you want to play the server or not. And it will be waking up again, and I can join it. Let me just Control C. And let me explain to you some current limitations about this program. Now, in the future, I do plan to do more updates for the amount of things you can configure in the YAML file here. Like the fact that right now it's defaulting to 4 gigabytes of RAM allocation for that server. But I'm planning that in the future, I will have a setting over here that allows you to RAM configuration or something like that. And it allows you to specify how much RAM you want to allocate to your server. Now, I am fairly confident that this works on a lot of Minecraft versions. I'm testing 1.21.10 vanilla for the first time, and it worked. So I'm very confident it works for other versions, but in case it doesn't work for, well, other versions, what I'm gonna need you guys to do, and this is where you come in, is that you can report an issue. And here you in the GitHub page, go to issues, press new issue, bug problem report. And here you can say what type of server it was: vanilla, forge, fabric, spigot, paper, the operating system of the program. So we were on Mac OS, so it's Darwin. And the architecture, I said it was ARM just now. And basically you would say, 1.21 point, let's say 5 doesn't work for some reason. Steps to reproduce the bugs, expected behavior and the actual behavior. And you can create and send an issue to this page, and I'll be able to see it, and I will try and fix it if I can. So other than that, I believe that is actually everything I need to tell you about this program and how to use it. Just simply double click it in Windows, just run it on Windows or run it on Mac OS, and it will run, and it will show like the terminal for it, and you will conserve more power. Easy. Yep, thank you for watching the video. Like I said, any problems, come and submit a new issue with this template right here, and I will see what I can do about it. Right? Have fun saving power, I guess.